It is Wednesday, April 15th, 2020. Here's your quick shot of news and whiskey. Buckle up, folks, because this first one's a doozy. The crying baby Trump balloon made an appearance on Monday in the White House briefing room where it did an impeccable impression of the president. The real president would never throw a tantrum like that, but the fake news would never tell you that's what actually happened. Trump went on rant after rant about how he and his administration have made no false moves in the handling of this coronavirus outbreak, asserting over and over again how unprecedented this whole situation is, and how perfectly their plan has been to wade through this storm. During the briefing, Trump even played what amounted to be a presidential campaign video, which baffled many reporters in that room who had never witnessed such a blatant act of self-promotion in a room that's traditionally reserved for disseminating important information. But that's Trump. He breaks conventions and plays by his own rules. And so did the Chiron writer on CNN, who wrote headlines such as, "Trump refuses to acknowledge any mistakes. Angry Trump turns briefing into a propaganda session. Trump uses task force briefing to try and rewrite history on coronavirus response." And Trump melts down in angry response to reports he ignored virus warnings. We reached it, folks. We've officially hit that time in quarantine where absolutely everyone gives zero fucks. Let the fun begin. Oh, but wait. That's not all. When asked about governors of certain states making plans to reopen their economies, Trump forcefully contended that that decision was his and his alone, stating, "When somebody is the president of the United States, the authority is total." Because what you didn't know is Trump is a constitutional scholar. Oh, sorry guys, I missed that one. Can we scroll back up? What you didn't know is Trump has no personal constitution. Case in point. President Trump is trying to pull funding from the World Health Organization in the middle of a pandemic unlike anything we have seen in over a century, because he says they handled this wrong. The argument behind pulling the funding is that he says the WHO should have gone into China earlier and confirmed that China was misrepresenting their outbreak numbers of the coronavirus. Small foible. The WHO cannot go into a country without an invitation. The scariest part about that is that the United States is the largest financial contributor to the WHO. This caught the attention of Bill Gates, one of the world's richest men, who criticized the president for defunding the organization amidst a crisis. Mr. Gates sent out the following tweet. "Halting funding for the World Health Organization during a world health crisis is as dangerous as it sounds. Their work is slowing the spread of COVID-19, and if their work is stopped, no other organization can replace them. The world needs the WHO now more than ever." Gates has pledged $100 million to fight the COVID-19 outbreak through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In light of this, Trump responded by pledging the same amount of money through his Trump Foundation. Whoops! Just kidding. The Trump Foundation was ordered to be shut down late last year and was also fined $2 million because he directly used a charity to help his political campaign. Now, I know this show usually covers small headlines then hits you with a quick punchline afterwards. And I'm also aware that this story was much longer than usual. But in keeping with tradition, here's your quick punchline. Bare minimum. We've got 9 more months of this guy. That's the punchline, but the joke is clearly on us. I want to go outside. Man, I just swallowed way too much of that. Because I am desperate to believe the news does not completely revolve around Trump right now, here's some other quick stories. Senator Bernie Sanders and former President Barack Obama both formally endorsed Joe Biden as the Democratic presidential nominee only 1 week after he became the last man standing. How was he the last man standing? Because so many women have been sharing his weight. The International Monetary Fund released a projection that the global economy would shrink by 3% this year. That would be the worst downturn since the Great Depression. Since it seems like history likes to repeat itself, maybe we need a new deal. But what color would that new deal be? And finally, in our last story, if you're looking to watch some new shows and movies, it has officially been announced that Amazon Prime will be showing many of the South by Southwest films that did not get to be presented at this year's festival. No subscription will be required to watch these films, so go on, be hip, support some indie filmmakers. Is TV more your speed? Well then, I've got some good news for you. Many of the pilot episode competition entries have been formed into a playlist over on Vimeo, so head over there and give those a watch. You gotta let me know which one's your favorite though. I'll be throwing a link to that down in the description. That's all I got for today. I hope you have been staying happy and healthy. I'll see you back here on Friday, and until then, cheers. Woo! That was a long one.